I have a lot to say today. I want to talk about. Oops. Real life. Okay. I want to talk about Angel Reese. I want to talk about the acceptable Black woman. I want to talk about the watering down of women's sports. I think I'll talk about the watering down of women's sports. So you guys know that I work with female athletes, a lot of female athletes. I have male athletes too, but most of my athletes are female purely because I think like at some point parents are like, I think I want a female coach for my athlete, especially because I do speed and agility. So it's just, anyway, that's beside the point. I work with a lot of female athletes, and so this topic is very near and dear to my heart because I love watching women, young women, gain confidence and being passionate about their sport. I think it's empowering for them, and I think we should support that. And when Jill Biden, he was going to save y'all. She was going to save y'all from, she decided that, Iowa should go to the White House as well, not just LSU. On the first part, the optics are bad, and I can't ignore that. The optics are really bad. Here you have this team of predominantly Black and otherwise melanated folks who are loud, audacious, bold, confident, unbelievably talented, rightfully earned their championship. And you're like, oh, but I feel bad for those girls because they didn't win. So I'm going to invite them too. And you can't help but wonder, if LSU lost, would she invite LSU? What I see is Jill Biden doesn't want those in her White House by themselves. Just call it what it is. Both sides, both political spectrums can have racial undertones. We need to just live in reality there. That's weird. Let's talk about the watering down of women's sports. If this were men's teams, I don't think people would do that. Why? Because competition, fierceness, trash talking is all acceptable in men's sports, and it's not acceptable in women's sports. And I actually don't have a strong opinion either way on trash talking or, going on. I don't have a strong opinion on that. But what I do have a strong opinion on is not doing this participation thing, not doing this thing where because these poor emotional girls can't handle losing, we should also give them. No, they lost. And I would feel the same way if LSU lost. I would say no. Do not imply that they are emotionally unable. They're so emotionally defunct that they can't handle losing because they're girls, because they're female. Because that's also the undertone here, is that, but we can't have a winner in the girls. Everybody needs to feel loved and included. It's like, stop. This is athletics. This is sports. So that's one thing. You guys, when I played basketball, if y'all don't know, I used to play basketball. I would play with the men at the YMCA in Richmond. If you guys don't know Richmond, California, if you don't know where that is, look it up. It's where Coach Carter coached. Actually, his son used to play with us at the Y. At the YMCA, so much trash talking. They didn't care that me and my sister were females. They did not care. And neither did the girls from Berkeley High. They were hooping and hollering and competitive. And no one batted an eyelash. And I think for Angel Reese, she strikes me as a person I actually don't know that played basketball with boys. And that's why she's aggressive on the court. And that's why she's able to move the way she is. And that's why she's able to get her rebounds and her double-doubles. She strikes me as someone who played with boys. And that's how you hold your ground in a men's basketball game. There is a little bit of trash talking, especially if you're in a neighborhood like Richmond. And there's no love lost. There's no love lost. But what Angel Reese is getting a dose of, and a lot of Black women know this, Angel Reese is getting the dose of the United States of America, which I actually love. Thank you very much. I've lived in other countries. I'm happy to be an American. I'm glad I live here. This is the best place to be a Black woman, in my opinion. Although I have not been to the African continent, so I'll have to, whatever. But in the United States of America, when you are a Black woman, those of us who work in corporate America, those of us who are a little bit older, we know that if there's a person who is less melanated, so let's say an Asian, Indian, Chinese, Pacific Islander, Mexican, El Salvadorian, Panamanian, Brazilian, anybody who is not Black, if there is a person next to me and we can say the exact same thing in the exact same tone, and we are going to be perceived as more aggressive. And Angel Reese is learning this on a larger stage. She would have come to the realization eventually, but I think it hurts a lot when there's millions of people on TikTok talking about you. Black women have known this, especially as we're older. We've known this for years. We know that we have to temper down our voice because we don't want people to think that we're so aggressive. Because unfortunately, the media portrayal, the TikTok, what's viral on TikTok, what's viral on Instagram, what's viral in the media is aggressive, loud, fighting, ghetto, tantrum having Black women. And so a lot of people's perception of us, even though it's not at their forefront, is that we are that way. They're afraid of Black women. They're afraid in the sense of, oh my gosh, you're aggressive. And I even have to call people out. I'm like, you have to check yourself and ask yourself, if she was white, would I be this excited about it? Would I be so upset? Because we know as Black women in America that that's the case. You can deny it till the cows come home. We know what reality is, which is you have to temper, you have to. If you're in corporate America, you know this. You temper yourself down because you know that people perceive you as being more aggressive than you are purely because of the color of your skin. That's just a fact. Doesn't mean I hate white people. Doesn't mean it's just a fact. And I'm talking about Black people specifically, not whites, not Asians, not Hispanics, not Latinos. What Black women, we know this. And the darker your skin is, the more likely it is that people are going to perceive you as aggressive. That's just a fact. And so Angel Reese, poor girl, is getting a dose of this so early in life. And, like I said, I grew up when I played basketball, taunting, talking a little trash was part of the game. So I didn't think twice of it. And the question that I always ask my athletes, when there's a player who's really, really competitive and she's got a little fire under her and she's got a little fire in her mouth and that tongue is sharp, they'll always say, she's so competitive, but she's super nice off the court. They never say anything bad about her. So America is up in arms about Angel Reese and up in arms about how she's behaving. But the other players aren't really tripping. They're not really that moved. But that goes to show you how a lot of people are out of touch with sports, out of touch with women's sports, and have a perception of Black women that is a little skewed. So if Angel was my daughter, I would just give her a big hug and be like, just understand, like, you can behave in the way that you want because you're a grown woman at this point, although she's a kid to me and she's so sweet. But just know that that your people perceive you differently because you're Black. Okay. And, they're going to comment on things because you're Black, and that's okay. Like, you just know that and just act according to that, however you want to behave, because that coach, Kim Mulkey, is, first of all, she's funny. She cracks me up. I got a little Kim Mulkey in me too. I temper it down, just so y'all know. But if Kim Mulkey was Black, we know that people would have different things to say about her, right? So we just see that happening, and we just have to know that. And a lot of Black women are aware of this, and poor Angel is just getting it so early. But anyway, those are my thoughts. I think we should stop watering down women's sports, acting like women are just so emotionally distraught that they just can't handle losing, so we have to invite them both to the White House. And Angel Reese, babe, this is just, it's part of the game. But get your money, collect your checks, and keep playing basketball, because that's what you're good at right now. So anyway, that's it for today's video, you guys. I'm about to go home. I am hungry. And if you like this, comment below. Bye.